All right, welcome everybody to the next edition of Shooting the Shit with Yankee, or our latest edition of Shooting the Shit with Yankee. Today's topic is going to be power or round performance versus shot placement. You know, a lot of people always argue, oh, shot placement is the number one important thing. That's the thing that matters the most is shot placement. You got to have that proper shot placement. And I'm always of a mindset of, I think actually power is more important. To me, I think if your round doesn't perform, well, then what good does it do how well you place it? You know, like if I shoot someone dead center, you know, center of mass with a 25 ACP, and they're charging at me with a ball bat or a knife, and that doesn't penetrate their sternum, well, then that shot placement didn't really do a lot of good, did it? Because they could still keep coming, still stab me, beat me with a ball bat. If I actually miss by 7 or 8 inches and just shoot them through the lung with a 44 Magnum, I think that will do more to stop them than a 25 in the dead center. So I think that power is ultimately more important than shot placement. Now, of course, shot placement is still very important, and I think the way that it should actually be said, instead of saying that shot placement is the most important part, it should be said with the caveat of if your round is capable, shot placement is number one. But people don't use that caveat. They just pretend that, oh, whatever it is, as long as you can hit center mass with it and hit perfectly, it doesn't matter what caliber you choose. But it does. And I think that makes people feel like, well, I can carry 9mm. You know, some people out there still think that's a good round. We don't. You know, we know real men don't carry and 9mm on this channel. We know that. We know guns don't kill people, especially not 9mm guns. I've even got designs like that over on my website. But I think it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing. You can't really have one without the other. And I think the most important thing is the performance. If your round is not going to perform, it doesn't matter where you hit. Like if shot placement was number one, well, then just hit them with a BB in the forehead. See, does that make sense? That a BB in the forehead is going to stop somebody? Probably not. A 44 mag in the forehead? Yes. 357 mag in the forehead? Yes. But not a BB. So I think shot placement is one of the most important things. You got to be able to hit your target. It's probably the most important thing when it comes to marksmanship and actually using your gun. But that gun itself has to be capable first. So I think people skip over that too much and they don't add that to what they're saying. And I think that is an injustice to people because you have these people out there, like I say, that go around thinking that as long as they hit right in the right spot, it doesn't matter if they're, carrying a 32, whatever. And I know that's wrong. I've seen people hit someone perfectly well and it not penetrate their clothing. Like maybe they're wearing a heavy wool coat or something. And maybe it's wet. And I don't know about you all, but I know wet wool is very hard to shoot through with low caliber rounds. So you got to be prepared before you have to fire the gun and shoot and hit someone center mass. The thing you got to do is make sure your gun is capable. Now, you do have to be able to use it, but before you ever even get to a point where you have to pull the trigger, you have to make sure the gun itself is up to the task. So therefore, I think it's more important even than shot placement, at least to that degree and in that way. That if you don't make that decision, that good decision up front to have a capable round, a capable firearm, well, then shot placement doesn't mean anything. And also, you may never even have to shoot your gun. So you may never have to make the actual placement. You may never have to worry about shot placement. But you should always be worried, is my gun capable? Will it do the job? So that's why I say, yes, I think power, performance is the most important factor. And that's something you got to make sure of before you ever even go out into the world. And then once you fire your gun, after you already know that it's capable, then shot placement is king, but not until you're already prepared. So that's my opinion on it. If anybody disagrees with me, feel free to let me know. If you agree with me, feel free to let me know. I haven't seen any comments come in yet. Let me go over here and check real quick. Mike White chimed in, and he paid his $2 tithe to Phil so that Phil will not blow away his trailer, possibly with his baby in it. And he said, even with 22 short, it will kill you. Not necessarily. I've seen people shot with 22s. I've been shot with a 22. I got shot right here in the back of the head with a 22. It went off my skull and out the top of my head. Never penetrated. So can't say that. Can't say that, oh, it doesn't even matter even if it's a 22, it'll kill you. No. It also may not stop the person that's coming at you. Like I said, a lot of times when you hit something even vital, unless you do catastrophic immediate damage, people are like balloons. Until they deflate, they're still dangerous. And instead of getting the air out of them, you got to get the blood out of them. Bigger wounds do that. And sometimes smaller calibers don't make a sufficient enough wound. And things like our heart and stuff are fairly well protected with bones. It's hard, even if you get a center mass shot, to make sure you're going to do damage to the heart. Same thing with your brain, defended by a lot of bone. So I don't know if I can agree with that statement. Dale Rickety chimed in here and says, I always carry a competent caliber. I don't know why I saw that as competent caterpillar for some reason. So I saw competent caliber as caterpillar. I thought he said, I always carry a caterpillar. So I still say shot placement, number one. Well, see, that's after you've already done the basics. And that's kind of what I was saying. And the basic is the most important part. Like before you go off and be a soldier, you go to basic. Before you go out and defend yourself or anybody else with a firearm, you do the basics. And that is making sure your gun is capable. So I think that's more important. Now, once you're out in the world and you're using your firearm, shot placement is king. One well-placed shot can end something very fast, and you don't have to wait for that balloon to deflate because it deflates very quickly, that human balloon. So I agree to what you're saying there. Kind of like I feel like that's just kind of what I said. I feel carrying a caliber you can shoot well is number one. Well, here's the thing, though. If the only caliber you can shoot well is like a 25 ACP, well, then I would spend more time working on my ability, building up my preference, my performance, my abilities, because I can't tell you that that's going to be capable in a bad situation, especially someone big, muscular, strong is coming at you. I don't want to have to try to stop them with a 25 ACP, especially if they have the intent to harm me, because shooting them with that just might end up with just giving them more reason to harm me, and I don't want to be harmed. I'm kind of a pussy when it comes to stuff like that. I don't want to be, I don't like getting kicked in the head. It's happened recently. I don't want it happening again. I don't want to be beat with something. It happened recently. My nose is just healing up. I don't want it to happen again. So I don't want to give them an excuse to hurt me, which I think sometimes shooting them at them with a little pea shooter would just be an excuse to hurt me. So if you can't fire a competent round, a capable round, well, then maybe there's other things you might want to look into for self-defense, tasers, pepper spray, etc. Because if you can't carry a competent gun, that might get you in a situation where that gun that won't work will get you killed. So I can't get really behind that, I don't think. I think if you can't carry a competent round, maybe consider other things. And if you can't get to where you can. And I'll tell you right now, even the frailest little old lady that I've ever met, you take them to the round. I've seen little old ladies in wheelchairs have 38 specials put in their hands and they shoot it just fine. They do okay. If they're capable enough to be out and about on their own in life or able to actually defend themselves, they can usually shoot a 38 just fine. And even if they have that 38, and you might say, well, 38 is not a very strong caliber. It's even weaker than 9mm. Well, put 357 in it when you're carrying. If you're a smaller person, you're weaker, well, load that gun up with 38s, lightweight 38s while you're practicing, and then put those 357s in it when you're carrying it. And that adrenaline rush you get when you're carrying, you'll be able to handle it. And also, here's the thing. Every person I've ever seen shoot a gun, on the very first shot, I would say 8 out of 10 people I train, on the first shot, they come very close to bullseye. because they haven't yet developed a flinch or anything like that. So if you're someone who can competently shoot with your 38s, that first round with your 357 Magnum is going to be on target. Even if after that you go, oh, I don't want to shoot that again, that was too much, which you probably won't do because of adrenaline. But even if you did, that first shot would be on target and probably do the job. So, like I said, capable round, very important. Go Shadow says, I go for both 260 grain at 1,200 feet per second handgun. Well, both is the epitome of doing the right thing. It's the best you can hope for. Having a capable round and being able to place it, well, yes, that's optimal. But and that's what we all hope for. But and that's what we all train for or practice for. I like to say practice more than train, but that is one of the things we train for, is to be able to shoot a competent caliber in a capable and competent way, I guess I should say. But if you're only going to have one or the other, I think I would rather someone who is, like I said, I'd rather someone who, can get within 3 inches of center, but has a powerful gun than, well, I can hit dead center with a 25, but I can hit like within 2 or 3 inches of center with a 357 Magnum. Well, carry the 357 Magnum, because I think it'd be better for you to hit within 3 inches of your target with that. Or because if you hit 3 inches of center within center mass with a 357 Magnum, well, you're still taking out lungs, other things, spine. So, and if you get through this and get to the spine, that's even better at slowing them down. So, just what I said already. I'm getting speechless here. Practical Bacon says, first thing, always carry a capable round that you can shoot accurately. Shot placement is a little more important, as missing your target with a big caliber does less than hitting with a small caliber. Yeah, but that's if you miss. And here's the thing, when targets are moving, there's a good chance you might miss with either of them. So if you're going to miss with either, I would, even if you miss them, if you're going to miss with both, I would rather they register that they're being shot at, especially if they're not armed. It might scare them off. They might turn tail and run. Now that's just, me hypothesizing right there. That's a hypothetical situation, but I believe that. So you might not. Like I said, I say a lot of stupid things. That's why I ask you all to counter me. But I think that's it for today. We've gone on long enough here. We got quite a bit of involvement there. I appreciate that. I don't know yet what tomorrow's topic's going to be, so keep your eyes open for when we put up the placard the screenshot and the window gets opened up for tomorrow's chat. It'll have right there on the graphic what that topic for that night will be. So keep your eyes open for that. And I will see you all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe till I see you again.